Was just really excited and really happy for the guys to be able to pull this game out. Gives us an opportunity to be 4-4 going into a bye week, which is extremely important. We've got a lot of healing to do. The first 8 games without the bye has been rough. It's been physical. The last 2 opponents, extremely physical. Hats off to Coach Adazio, Boston College. That was a physical football game, and they played a heck of a game all the way into the fourth quarter. And hopefully, I think it was an exciting game. Again, before I stop, just for our football team to be able to play in weather like that, where 3 weeks ago we weren't that good in it, and now to come back and play half a game in a weather like that and the way they played the game, I'm really excited about it, really excited about how they played. We had mistakes. We weren't perfect, but we're human, and we're excited to be at 500 again. Questions?
Please raise your hand if you have a question. John in the front row.
With Eric's interception in the first quarter and first drive and the hit on the sideline, what did you see out of what happened on the sideline? Did you say anything to Eric afterward?
Yeah, I told him that his job is to get the guy down, not to hit him like a middle linebacker, because he needs to preserve himself. I mean, it was a great job him stopping the touchdown. That's what he's supposed to do. And then after that, he needs to protect himself. And you get in scuffles like that, somebody steps on your hand or something it's like a baseball pitcher. You don't go in there and start throwing punches and break your hand. He didn't throw a punch. I'm just giving you an analogy. But he needs to just get the guy out of bounds and then play the next play. So that's all I told him.
Stephen, front row.
You had 16 penalties, and I think 9 or 10 of them were false starts. What went into that? Was there kind of a theme with those false starts?
We're going to have to go back and check the tape. I think that some of it we have to see, because that's very uncharacteristic for you to have that many false starts without it being a reason. So we will go back and check the tape. But they called them on us, so I'm sure we must have did it. I'm assuming.
Coach, as a professional, dissing these guys about false starts, faulty penalties.
I like your verbiage.
At what point was there ever thought of you calling timeout, getting guys together, and just asking to focus on the game? Because it seems things got out of hand around second or third quarter.
Absolutely thought about it, almost did it, and then I paused and stopped and said, if this becomes a fourth quarter game and I call a timeout and I have to come into this meeting, you guys talk about me killing a timeout when I could have used that timeout to win the game, and I said, you know what, I better not call it. But I tell you what, in between series, I sure to get myself around to where they could feel me and make sure that they settle down.
Mario, all the way in the back.
Like there's 150 left in the game, and you ice it by getting that first down. Talk about the character that it shows to put the game away when you have to.
You know, it's big. It really is. Those are difficult times. I mean, the box is loaded. They know we're not going to throw the ball. We're not going to throw the ball, and that is a top 5, top 6 ranked defense against the run. And for us to be able to get that first down with the box being that heavy, with as young as we are in the offensive line and the injuries that we've had, I think that was really big.
Nate in front.
With the better catch, Amba or Steve?
They were both good, but Amba's was like, yeah, wow. That was a wow. They were both really good, though.
Chris in the front.
Steve's gotten a lot of looks the last 2 weeks, and he had his base game this week. You know, what opened up in the last couple weeks for him to get more looks?
Again, it all comes down to the coverages. Anytime you can see that Amba is drawing more coverages, which is singling up more guys on the other side, and that's just how football goes. You know, so I think that a little bit of it has to do with Amba, and then a little bit has to do with Ish making more plays.
Connor on the left.
Coach, I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but on the Dungy interception, it looked like he thought BC jumped offside, which is why he threw that pass deep into double coverage. Did that look offside to you, or did you talk to him about that at all?
It looked like it was offsides to me, and I did talk to him about it. I said, hey, you know, I thought the guy was offsides. You can't worry about it. I know it goes down as an interception on your record, but the last time I checked, you got 5 or 6 touchdowns off that same thing this year. You got to take the good with the bad.
Front row on the right.
Coach, going back to that early skirmish on the sideline, did you talk to Eric about what's been his reaction now? Was there anything that got him upset?
No, I saw the play, so my conversation with him was private, but I saw the play. Okay, I can't talk about it. I'm gonna get fined. So I saw the play. I talked to him about it.
On the left, in the middle.
By now ranks second for single game receiving yards for SU. So where does he rank for you, receivers that you've coached?
He's up there. I've coached over 30 wide receivers in the National Football League, so there's a lot of them. But he's definitely in the top 10.
Kate in the back.
Hey, Coach. What were some of the biggest challenges in the second quarter, especially with the elements, and what did you learn from your team about how to play, especially with how we played?
Now, when you say second quarter, you mean second quarter, not second half, or do you mean
Second quarter when it was just pouring.
Yeah, the second quarter was tricky. The water was really coming down. Fabulous question. We made a mistake. I thought we made I'm not going to tell you what the mistake was. You got to figure it out. I thought we made a mistake in that quarter as coaches, and I told the players that. And I said, we're not going to make that mistake again. You can't push the elements when it starts to rain that hard. You have to. There's certain things you can do, and there's certain things it's just not smart to do. And we had to pick and choose when we want to do some of those things that were a little bit more dangerous. But it was definitely challenging. That's a great question.
Steven?
Eric's taken a bunch of hits the last few weeks. I think today he was 32 or 37 for 400 yards. What have you seen from him and his ability to play through that? How impressive did you think he was today compared to other games this year?
The thing I'm proud about, I'm proud about a lot of things with him today, but I think he handled the weather a lot better than he did versus, that other game that I don't want to mention in his press conference. Just the way he handled it, the way he threw the ball. He's a big-handed guy. He's throwing the ball around. You can see some of those other passes coming from the other side maybe weren't as crisp, weren't as accurate. And then think about some of the deep throws. Yeah, some of them were kind of flat, but we left a lot of meat on the bone. We'd have came up with some more catches down the field. A lot more people. It could have been a different type of game. So I thought he threw the ball extremely well. And you look at his incompletions, what his incompletions were and what plays they were on. I mean, he could have had a little bit of help. He could have had a heck of a game.
Is there anything mechanical that he did differently or anything he played differently in regard to the weather?
There's certain things he needs to do. He's got to keep his feet underneath him. It's quarterback stuff. But he's getting better with that stuff all the time. He's come a long way from when we first saw him.
Time for 2 more questions. Chris in front.
I think generally down the red zone, there are 3 drives that were getting up, and 0 points on that interception, and then 2 drives where you gave up a field goal. What schematically is kind of working down there, or I guess.
You're talking about our defense playing so well. Yeah, again, Boston College is a certain style of offense. They want to do certain things. And then based off of what quarterback's in the game, there's some tendencies that you have to take advantage of. And I thought that Coach Ward and the defensive coaches did a nice job of taking advantage of those tendencies and just playing the numbers. If they want to do something else, they may have a better chance of being successful, but they may be using people that they normally don't use, and that's their option. But I thought we tried to take away their strengths, and for the most part we did. I had no idea that quarterback was that fast, though. When he got out there, it didn't look like we could run him down. He was really moving.
Final question in the middle on the right.
2-part question for you, Coach. You're 4-4. You're in position for a bowl game. How much improvement do you want to see from the offensive line with Clemson, Florida State on the schedule? How much do you want to start building a more balanced attack so they can't just flood the middle with 6 defensive backs, 7 defensive backs, and just try to go after Dungy?
I would like to be balanced today. I'd like to be balanced yesterday. I mean, we're always shooting for balance. Now, when it's difficult to run the football, you just can't keep slamming your head against the wall and expecting that thing to loosen up a little bit. Sometimes we've got to use the pass to help us run the football. But in this situation, they were so heavy in the box that it would be a little foolish not to throw the ball as much as we did. And as what happens a lot of times with two-part questions, the guy up here normally forgets the second part of the question. So ask me again the part that I didn't answer.
The second part is the offensive line. I know that you have 5 sacks, but that passing game was fantastic. How do you improve that going forward when you have Clemson, Florida State, and you need at least 2 wins to be bowl eligible?
We got to find a way. We need a slingshot and a rock. I'm not even sure who we play next. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. I mean, I've been so locked in on these guys, and I know we got a bye coming up. But obviously, that team is extremely talented. Their athletes are outstanding. The coaching staff is unbelievable. I wish somebody would add up how many coaches they have and how many coaches we have and do a flow chart on that or something like that. But we're gonna try to find a way to run the football and try to find a way to move the football. When you're playing teams like that, the most important thing is to try to get a first down before you punt the doggone thing. You just don't want a whole bunch of 3-and-outs. And usually you have to try to do what they're not giving you. So we have to get in that game and just see what, from a structure standpoint, they're going to allow us to do. And then we've got to try to take advantage of that. I hope I answered your question.
Thanks very much, Coach.
All right, thank you.